I'm Zoe Sheridan and here we are in Melbourne on a beautiful day, sitting on the South Bank Promenade, and I have with me an incredibly talented and incredibly busy woman, Tamra Mercieca, who's not only an author, an actress, a drummer, but also a newsreader. Amazing. And a life coach as well. Mm-hmm. How do you find time to do all of those things?
Just resigned from my news reading, so
I can understand that.
Yeah, so I'm doing life coaching and writing full time. So
that's brilliant. Now, this is the first book you've brought out, which is self-published. Mm-hmm. It's called The Upside of Down. The Upside of Down, because it's about how to overcome depression naturally.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think the key factors are for that?
Depression is very much a holistic condition, so you need to treat it as such. So it's divided into three different areas. So you've got mind, body, soul, and you need to treat it from those three perspectives. So mind looks at getting rid of those self-sabotaging tendencies, the negative self-talk, all that sort of stuff.
Can you describe for other people what depression actually feels like and how long it kind of goes on for?
Everyone's different. It's pretty much like a prolonged period of sadness. So, and when you start doing the negative self-talk, the internal beat-up, that's depression. When you can't get out of bed each morning, when it leads to suicidal tendencies, that's depression.
And were other people around you aware of it?
To a certain extent. I kept it quite hidden. A lot of people with depression tend to isolate themselves. They go into hibernation, and so a lot of people don't see it. And the worst thing is that when you are alone, that makes depression worse. Yeah,
because you're just feeling so lonely, you've got no one to talk to, no one to give you a hug.
Exactly. As human beings, we're meant to connect. And as soon as you isolate yourself from the world, then you're feeding the depression. Was
there a trigger or a reason why you first think you got depression? Was it like a heartbreak or maybe something you couldn't get over, or it just was a mood thing?
My first attempt at self-harm was when I was 19. I just moved to South Australia to pursue my radio career. And I went through a relationship break. Well, he cheated on me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was in this new town, didn't know anybody, new job, I'd never worked full-time before, and was going through this heartbreak.
Yeah.
And that's when that happened. It wasn't until 2 years later that I was diagnosed with clinical depression. Went on antidepressants for a year.
And how did you go on the antidepressants?
Put on 15 kilos in the year that I was on them.
Wow.
And didn't want to stay on them, saw them as a band-aid, so I came off them after a year.
Yeah, because they're antidepressants. I mean, I know there would be a place for them, but I'm guessing that a lot of the time it's curing the symptoms for a time, but not the cause of why it's actually happening.
That's right.
And did they, when you say they diagnosed you with clinical depression, what kind of test do they do?
It's a questionnaire that you fill out. So there's not actually a blood test or anything like that that can say that you have depression. So, you know, it's out on that one, on whether a chemical imbalance is real or not. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it's not.
So it's an ongoing measurable thing. I mean, you'd think that you'd get the dosage right, and then if you stayed on that dose, but it doesn't, it changes all the time.
Situations change it as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever just genealogical or it's just situational. I think it's possibly a combination of both, which is what it was for me.
Well, I think I'm very happy for you that you're feeling so good and you've overcome depression, which is a massive, massive achievement, as well as writing your second book and being a life coach and a drummer in a band. How good is that? And you're not even 30 yet. I applaud you. Tamra, thank you so very, very much for having a chat with us on the couch today.